Only 5 games remain in the 2025 NFL season, and the Dallas Cowboys still find themselves within reach of the postseason. Their current 6-5-1 record reflects a campaign filled with uneven moments, but a 3-game winning streak has revived hope. They trail the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC East, but remain firmly in contention for a wildcard spot. To secure a postseason berth, Dallas will likely need to win at least 4 of their remaining 5 contests. That challenge begins immediately in a national spotlight setting. Thursday night's showdown against Detroit marks the beginning of this crucial stretch. The Cowboys return from there by looking sharper and more cohesive than at any point earlier in the season. The Lions, sitting at 7-5, have stumbled recently, losing 2 of their last 3. Both teams enter the matchup with urgency, knowing how dramatically one game can shift the playoff race. With NFC seeding implications looming large, the stakes could not be higher. This primetime stage may end up defining their respective seasons. Dallas carries one of the NFL's easiest remaining schedules based on win percentage. Their opponents have a combined .393 winning percentage, ranking as the 3rd easiest slate in the league. But easy is relative, especially in December football. Divisional battles, conference showdowns, and teams clinging to hope can all create unexpected chaos. The Cowboys cannot afford missteps, especially against familiar NFC East foes. Every game from this point becomes a playoff test in disguise. Why the remaining schedule matters. The Cowboys' postseason pathway is shaped not only by their own performance, but by the chaos surrounding the NFC field. With the conference packed tightly around the wildcard line, a single loss can swing probabilities drastically. Dallas' 3-game winning streak has created momentum, but the margin for error remains razor-thin. Their remaining opponents each present different challenges, ranging from desperate playoff hopefuls to struggling division rivals capable of upsets. Navigating these dynamics successfully will require discipline and consistency. 2 NFC East road games and 2 NFC North matchups create a uniquely balanced schedule. Divisional opponents always bring intensity, regardless of record, while interconference games can reshape tiebreakers. Dallas must treat every matchup with playoff-level focus. Historical trends also play a role, as late-season divisional games often determine standings. The Cowboys cannot overlook any opponent, especially those aiming to spoil their postseason aspirations. This stretch will reveal the team's true identity. Additionally, the Cowboys' improvements following the bye have sparked optimism. Their offense appears reinvigorated, and the defense has tightened significantly. These strengths must continue carrying over into December. The team's ability to close out games, protect leads, and stay healthy will determine how far they can rise in the standings. While the remaining schedule is statistically favorable, Dallas must prove capable of taking advantage. With everything on the line, each game becomes a referendum on their playoff hopes. Week 18 at Giants. This should win game. The Cowboys wrap up their regular season on the road against the New York Giants, a team they've dominated historically. Dallas has won 16 of the last 17 meetings, a streak that underscores the lopsided nature of this rivalry. However, their early season matchup required overtime, signaling that this year's Giants may not be a pushover. Even with their struggles, divisional familiarity can always complicate things. The Cowboys must avoid complacency in this finale. The Giants enter Week 14 at 2-11 and mired in a 7-game losing streak. Injuries have devastated their depth, forcing young and inexperienced players into critical roles. Despite their record, they've shown flashes of resilience early in games before collapsing late. That inconsistency makes them unpredictable but generally overmatched. Dallas needs to approach the game with urgency, regardless of records or trends. They cannot allow a potential trap scenario to derail their postseason pursuit. This matchup stands as the easiest remaining game on Dallas' schedule. Yet December football often delivers unexpected results, particularly when struggling teams seek moral victories. The Giants will have nothing to lose, creating a dangerous emotional environment. Their home crowd may push for an upset to end the season on a high note. Dallas must assert control early and prevent momentum swings. A clean, disciplined performance will be essential to securing this must-win opportunity. The Minnesota Vikings entered 2025 with playoff expectations, but injuries and quarterback instability have crushed their campaign. Now sitting at 4-8 and losers of 4 straight, they've fallen from contention in the NFC North. Yet their roster still has pieces capable of competing, especially when overlooked. Dallas must avoid underestimating a team with talent but lacking consistency. Sunday Night Football adds an unpredictable layer to the meeting. The Cowboys must rise to the bright lights rather than shrink from them. Minnesota has struggled notably in primetime this season, posting a 1-2 record in those games. They've been outscored 83-43 across their 3-night matchups, highlighting their tendency to unravel under national attention. Dallas, coming off a mini-bye, will have extended preparation time. That advantage could play a significant role in their game plan and execution. If the Cowboys control tempo and maintain defensive discipline, they can neutralize Minnesota's remaining strengths. But overlooking them would be dangerous. The Vikings remain unpredictable despite their record. Their offense can generate rhythm quickly when healthy, and their defense has moments of physicality. Dallas must impose their style early to prevent Minnesota from gaining confidence. Primetime games often shape narratives, and a strong performance can energize a playoff push. Conversely, a stumble could destabilize momentum. For the Cowboys, this matchup represents both opportunity and risk. Execution will determine which storyline prevails. Week 17 at Commanders, a trap with playoff stakes. Washington's fall from last year's conference title game participants has been dramatic. Now 3-9 with a 7-game losing streak, their season has spiraled out of control. Yet their recent losses have been close, including a 1-point defeat to the AFC West leading Broncos. This suggests they remain scrappy, despite the setbacks. The Commanders have nothing to lose and everything to gain by spoiling Dallas playoff hopes. That emotional factor could make this matchup more difficult than expected. The Commanders will end their season with 4 straight NFC East battles. Their Week 17 game against Dallas is sandwiched between 2 meetings with the Eagles and a matchup with the Giants. Rivalry energy will be at an all-time high, especially in a disappointing season. Dallas must prepare for a hostile environment and a team eager to play spoiler. Washington's competitiveness in recent games signals that they will not fold easily. The Cowboys must remain composed and efficient. The key for Dallas will be controlling the pace and minimizing turnovers. Washington thrives in chaotic, scrappy games that require resilience. If the Cowboys allow the game to become sloppy, they risk losing control of the postseason race. Precision and discipline will determine their fate. This game could ultimately make or break their playoff push. Dallas must handle it with the seriousness of a playoff elimination game. Week 16 versus Chargers, the wild-card swing game. The Chargers represent one of the biggest X factors on the Cowboys' schedule. Their 8-4 record reflects strong play across multiple phases, but their trajectory depends heavily on Justin Herbert's health. Herbert is currently managing a left-hand injury that could affect his availability or performance. When healthy, the Chargers boast one of the top offenses in the league. That threat requires Dallas to prepare for explosive plays and rapid tempo. The Chargers' ability to score quickly makes them a dangerous December opponent. Los Angeles faces a brutal stretch of 5 consecutive games against opponents with .500 or better records entering Week 14. Their resilience will be tested repeatedly before facing Dallas. They have struggled specifically against the NFC East, going 0-2 this season with losses to Washington and New York. At the same time, their 8-2 record against all other opponents shows their potential when not facing familiar East Coast defensive schemes. Dallas must exploit this pattern and use their preparation time wisely. This matchup could heavily influence the wildcard picture. A win against the Chargers would strengthen Dallas' playoff outlook and provide a statement victory. A loss, however, could create a precarious tiebreaker scenario. The Cowboys must contain Herbert, limit explosive plays, and sustain long drives. Dallas can win this game, but only with focused execution. As one of the toughest opponents remaining, the Chargers will test Dallas' readiness for postseason football. Thursday's matchup against Detroit stands as the hardest game on the Cowboys' remaining schedule. The Lions, now 7-5, possess a 42% chance to make the playoffs, one that drops drastically with a loss. Detroit's offensive firepower and home field energy make Ford Field one of the most challenging environments in the league. Both teams enter this game desperate to stabilize their playoff positions. With both offenses ranked inside the top 3 this season, fireworks are expected. This is a high-stakes battle with massive implications. Historically, matchups where both teams rank top 3 in scoring and total offense are rare. Since 2000, it has happened only 6 times. In 5 of those instances, the winning team later reached the Super Bowl. That statistic underscores how meaningful this game could be for Dallas. Victory would signal that the Cowboys belong among the NFL's elite. A loss, however, could damage momentum and complicate playoff scenarios. Every possession will matter immensely in this primetime contest. Detroit has stumbled recently, but remains dangerous. Their offensive balance and physicality can challenge any defense. Dallas must approach this matchup with a playoff mindset from the opening kick. Containing Detroit's backfield and limiting their explosive plays will be crucial. If the Cowboys can withstand the early surge and dictate tempo, they can compete. But a slow start could bury them quickly in a high-pressure environment. This game defines their December path. What's at stake for Dallas? As the Cowboys prepare for this final stretch, the stakes could not be higher. Their late-season surge has turned a once uncertain campaign into a potential playoff push. But every remaining matchup carries meaning, from trap games to heavyweight clashes. Their ability to maintain composure, stay healthy, and close out games will determine their postseason destiny. This final stretch offers opportunities, but also pitfalls that could unravel their comeback. Dallas must approach each game with playoff urgency. Momentum is on their side, but momentum is fragile in December football. The Cowboys must rely on balanced offense, disciplined defense, and smart coaching decisions. Late-game execution will be critical in contests that project to be tightly contested. The NFC's crowded wildcard picture means that even one unexpected loss could end their hopes. Dallas cannot afford to take any moment for granted. Every week becomes a new elimination test. The Cowboys' hopes rest not just on talent, but on resilience. Their remaining schedule presents challenges that will test physical and mental toughness. How they respond will define the narrative of their 2025 season. Whether they rise to the moment or falter under pressure remains to be seen. But one truth is clear: Dallas controls its own destiny. If they seize the opportunity, the postseason door remains open.